Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm here with a good friend, Laura Stastny. She is the Executive Director of Nebraska Wildlife Rehab. Laura, thanks so much for joining me today.
Hi, Andy. As always, it's great to be with you.
When we talked back in the fall, or it was in 2021, sometime later in the year, you were working on the big new wildlife center, and it's actually open now. The public can come and you have a gift shop. I mean, there's so many things. So I'm just gonna let you kind of talk about the center. But first, let's just let everybody know, what is Nebraska Wildlife Rehab?
So Nebraska Wildlife Rehab is a nonprofit with a twofold mission. We're here to rescue, rehabilitate, and return to the wild native wildlife, and also to educate people about our native wildlife and ecosystems and how to live in harmony with wildlife.
And you guys do so many amazing things. I've known you for years, and just really, an organization that does help the wildlife. And we'll talk more about that. But let's talk about this center that's kind of been, out there for years, and it's now open. So tell us about it.
Yeah, so in our last 20 years, we've had lots of iterations of how we've operated and where we've operated, but our goal was always to open a large wildlife center and veterinary clinic to really serve our patients and our community. And so we are delighted, after many years of work, to open the Baldwin Wildlife Center and Hubbard Family Wildlife Hospital right in the heart of Omaha. We're at 97th and M in Omaha. And the new wildlife center, yes, it has a gift shop and people can drop off animals, and a lot of people donate goods like towels and food and things, and they can drop all of those off during our winter operating hours, which are 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day we're here. Those hours will get expanded in the summer when we're super busy with animals. But this wildlife center is designed to provide optimal care for wildlife in our community. And with the addition of one of, if not the best equipped wildlife hospital in the country, with all sorts of amazing medical equipment for our animals, we are really primed to go to the next level with our care for wildlife, our research into best management and care practices, and all of our partnerships in the community, whether it's the Nebraska Humane Society, the Game and Parks Commission, Collective for Youth, all the schools that we work with, the research that we do with UNO and UNL and Creighton. It provides us that space and that room to grow. And we have 17 animal nurseries that are fully equipped for biosecurity and cleanability and flexibility. And we just, every day our staff comes to work and we are floating, because it's just such an amazing facility. And Omaha donors and Nebraska donors step forward to make this happen, and we are just so incredibly grateful.
So let's talk a little bit about, so the facility, it's open, and you've got all the state-of-the-art equipment and everything, like you said, that you haven't had before. Are there other things that you need from the community? Like you said, towels and things like that. So people wanting to also contribute. Are there additional items?
Yeah, so there are so many ways that people can contribute. And we do keep an Amazon wish list if people want to shop for wildlife. And we also have just a regular wish list. So old towels and sheets, pet dishes, things that you're getting rid of from pets because your pet outgrew them, even some pet toys because we use them for enrichment, particularly for raccoons. So our wish lists, and then also people can contribute in so many ways. Well, let's see what COVID does, but we kind of put our volunteer program on hold with COVID. We were working in a really small facility and it wasn't safe. So we're relaunching our volunteer program for the new wildlife center in Omaha this spring. So if you're interested in volunteering, now is the time to go to our website and put in an inquiry to our volunteer coordinator. And then, of course, financial donations are always really appreciated. So unlike dogs and cats, we have a lot of really specialized things that we need to buy for our wildlife. And so when people donate funds, it goes to those really specialized diets or those really specialized medical equipment. That's not just an easy thing for people to donate as a good. So for us, there are just so many ways that people can help. And the last one, which I think is maybe the most important, is to share the work that we do. So to share it on social media, by email, or to refer people to us when they have a wildlife issue. Because really getting the word out that we're here and that we're available to our community, but also to get the word out that there are alternatives to nuisance wildlife issues that don't involve damaging wildlife, that we can live with them. And we are here to provide people with humane solutions to any wildlife issue that they might have.
So what are some, just briefly, because I know I'm going to have you back on probably in 4 to 6 weeks, but what are some of the common issues that people have with wildlife?
Yeah, so at this time of year, it has to do with wildlife and buildings. I mean, that's kind of universal, but people notice it in the winter because they're spending more time inside.
Sure.
So they're hearing animals in their walls or their attics. A lot of times it's raccoons or squirrels that are up in an attic space or in the eaves of a house. It could be bats in the walls. And there are very humane ways to deal with these issues without hurting wildlife, without trapping and relocating it, because that actually usually kills wildlife when you relocate it, which a lot of people don't know. And we're here to provide those solutions. And we just kind of walk with people. It usually doesn't happen overnight, but it might take a few days to get an animal out and get the access space repaired. But we're actually, part of our mission is here to be here to just walk the process through with people and make sure that it's resolved for the people and for the animals.
Yeah. And I am actually on your website right now. There is I'm going to put this over here. There's so much information. So for people who are wanting to learn more, there's some, you've got different ways of if they have come across an animal, how to, what needs to happen. So I encourage people, it's Nebraska Wildlife Rehab.org. News and events, education, how you can help. There's so much information here as well. And I did, I guess one of the reasons I've mentioned the gift shop is because I saw posts about it, over the holidays, and really unique items, fun, unique items. So I think you can shop online as well if you want to shop.
Yeah, you totally can shop online. I'm not a super big fan right now of our online interface. It's not as easy as I'd like it to be. But if you're in the Omaha area, I really encourage you to stop by, especially if you like quirky animal things. We have a tendency to use vendors who are local artists, not necessarily local to Nebraska, but local to their communities, small artists. And we tend to pick up our ideas when we're traveling. So if it's something that we really like, we will go contact them and see if they'll let us wholesale. And the really cool thing is that all of those proceeds go for wildlife care. And so you can come and buy something really cool for yourself or for a friend and still help wildlife in that way.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, Laura, again, I'm looking forward to talking to you in about 4 to 6 weeks. We'll be talking about kind of what's happening in the wildlife world. It'll be spring, close to spring that time. So lots to talk about then. We are covering, doing a great article on you in Metro Magazine in the next issue. So again, thank you so much for everything you do for wildlife and in our community. So I look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Andy. We really appreciate you helping us get the word out.